Assalamu alaikum. I'm Ms. Farzana Irfan. I'm a teacher from Islamabad teaching IGCSE and GCSE O-level Islamiyat. The purpose of making this channel is to help out the students as well as the teachers to share my long experience and association with the Cambridge. I want the students all over the world to benefit from this channel and understand the assessment process of Cambridge as well as the whole syllabus. My focus will be on describing each and every topic which is given in the IGCSE syllabus. And this session will also be helpful for the newly inducted teachers who are interested in teaching Islamia. So I will be going into the depth, and since I'm not only a teacher, but I'm also working as an examiner for the Cambridge since last 6 years. So I want to share my experience and contribute it and dedicate it for my students who will benefit from it. And even when I am not in this world, I want this service to be continued and be a part of everybody's knowledge and understanding. So I will be starting with paper one and focusing on every topic in detail. This teaching will be divided into different episodes. So first of all, in my this session, introductory session, I'll be discussing the Cambridge syllabus, which is the same both for IGCSE and GCE O levels. Even the paper pattern and the duration, um, choice of question, each and everything is exactly the same. This Islamiyat paper is taken by the Cambridge twice in a year, once in May, June, and the other paper is in October, November. So today I will be discussing all the details and requirements of the Cambridge as to what they expect from the students and how they are supposed to prepare. Basically, they say that it is a 2-year program. You can go through this syllabus in the Cambridge website. I will be discussing few important areas with you. And as you see this introductory part, it says that it is basically generally about the Cambridge. So I will be focusing on Islamiyat. The code which is given to Islamiyat by Cambridge is 0493 for IGCSE and 2058 for GCE. So it's a 2-year program, and for the teacher support, they have got material in the, if you go to the specific code, you will find the material over there. My teaching and learning will be in both English and Urdu to ease out the teaching process for the students. Now, this is the syllabus overview. Just have a look at this, that you will be appearing for 2 papers, and both the papers are in written form in English. They are subjective papers. There are no MCQs, no objectives, and both papers must be taken for the candidates to be awarded a grade. This is very important point to be noted, that if you miss out any one of the paper, you will not be graded. So you have to appear, because the syllabus of both paper 1 and 2 is entirely different. And the grading which is given is that the candidates are eligible for grade A star to G. So this is the range of grades according to the performance of the students. In paper 1, which is of 1 hour 30 minutes or 1.5 hour, the paper is, it consists of 5 questions. in which the candidates must answer question 1 and 2. That means 1 and 2 are compulsory section, and then from the rest of 3 questions they have to answer 2 more. So the first compulsory section is major themes of the Quran, in which the Cambridge has given 1 to 15 Quranic passages, and for the paper they give 3 passages to the students to attempt any 2. Later on, when we will move to this section, we will go through each and every Quranic passage to make you understand the requirement of the Cambridge as to how to deal with this part. It says that candidate may choose any 2. Out of the 3 passages, you have to choose any 2, and there are total 8 marks for it. There is further division of this 8 marks. A part 4 marks and B part 4 marks. The second section, which is also the compulsory section, is history and importance of Quran. This question is usually set in more than one part. That means the Cambridge want the students to show their knowledge as well as their understanding. And basically they call the A part as the knowledge part, which is a lengthy part, an essay length answer, and the B part is based on the critical thinking of the student, which is unseen, in which they are supposed to think, reason, and give the answer. So as we will go into the syllabus, you will further understand the requirement as to what you're supposed to write. Then section number 3, which is the lengthy section, is the life and importance of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Mostly 1 or 2 questions are set, usually in more than one part, requiring essay length answer. Again, the division is 10 plus 4, 10 mark for the knowledge part and 4 mark for the understanding part. And the last section is the first Islamic community. 1 or 2 questions are set. So if you see from section 3 and 4, the examiner makes 3 questions and the students are supposed to attempt any 2. So overall, 1 to 4 sections, the students will be attempting 1 and 2 compulsory and 2 more questions. Okay, again, the marking is the same as for the other parts, 3 and 4, 10 mark for A part and 4 mark for B part. A part is always an essay length answer, which is based on the knowledge of the student as to how much he is able to recall and memorize on the given topic. And the total marks are 50. Moving to paper 2. Paper 2 is, again, the duration of paper 2 is 1.5 hours or 1 hour 30 minutes. It contains 5 questions, of which the candidates must answer question 1, question 2, and 2 others. So if you see or make a closer look, the paper pattern of both the papers are almost the same. 1 and 2 are compulsory here also. And question number 1 is based on hadith. If you have noted that in paper 1, question number 1 was on Quranic passages. Here it is based on hadith, major teachings in the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Overall, the students are supposed to understand 1 to 20 ahadith. 20 ahadith from Sahih Bukhari are selected for this particular syllabus. So in the exam, they give 4 ahadith from the list, and the candidate are supposed to attempt any 2. 8 marks are allocated for this. Again, A part 4 marks, B part 4 marks. As I told you, A part is the knowledge part or the major teachings, and the B part is about how we can implement those teachings in our daily life. So the syllabus is really beautiful in the sense that it tells you that the religion is not only about learning and memorizing, it is about how to practice it in your daily life, the teachings of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the students become well aware that these are not the books only to be memorized, these are to be implemented in our daily life. The second section is history and importance of hadith. This covers a broad range of topics. Um, as we will move further, then we will focus on the content of this section. It talks about the structure of hadith, the compilation of hadith, how the hadiths were compiled, then the six major compilers of hadith, who were the authors of the Sahih Sitta compilation, and then it talks about the preservation of hadith, and then how it can be implemented in our daily life. Again, 1 and 2 are compulsory section. So question number 2, 10 mark for A part question, B part for understanding and reasoning. Question 3 or section 3 is on the period of the rule of the rightly guided caliphs. Here we are going to study the 4 Khalifas, Hazrat Abu Bakr Raziyallahu Ta'ala Anhu, Hazrat Umar Raziyallahu Ta'ala Anhu, Hazrat Usman Raziyallahu Ta'ala Anhu, and Hazrat Ali Raziyallahu Ta'ala Anhu, all in detail, their caliphate, their contribution, how they expanded the Islamic empire, and their martyrdom, so their services and administration. So 1 or 2 questions are set, usually in more than one part, requiring essay length. Essay length means 250 to 300 length is the word length of A part question, and B part is the 4 mark, again based on reasoning and analysis. The fourth section is the articles of faith and the pillars of Islam. This is a very long section, as you can see by the name, articles of faith, all the 6 articles of faith, belief in Allah, like it is based on the verse Amantu billahi wa malaikatihi, that means the belief in angels, wa kutubihi, belief in books, wa rusulihi, belief in the prophets, wal qadri khairihi wa sharrihi min Allah ta'ala, and the predestination, and then I missed out the day of judgment. Okay, so 6 articles of faith and 5 pillars of Islam. It also covered the chapter on jihad. Again, from these 2 sections 3 and 4, sometimes Cambridge give 2 questions from rightly guided caliphs and 1 question from pillars of Islam and articles of faith, and sometimes it's vice versa. It 2 questions from pillars of Islam and articles of faith, and 1 from rightly guided caliphs. So in other words, the students have to be prepared in all the sections. Overall marks are 50. So 50-50 are the marks allocation for both paper 1 and paper 2. And as I told you that if you appear in one paper and God forbid for some reason you are not able to appear in the other part, then you will not be graded and Cambridge will grade you as U. So it's very important to know about it. Now, availability, this syllabus is examined in June and November examination series. The syllabus is available to private candidates, whether you are attached to some school or whether you are giving the paper privately. It is all like applicable for you. And then this is the Cambridge site, www.cambridgeinternational.org.timetable. You can find everything from this website. And as it is written here, combining this with other syllabus. You know, I have opened 0493. So it is saying here that if you combine it, Cambridge O-Level Islamic Studies 2068 2058, it is the same syllabus. Okay, now let's move to the syllabus aims and objectives. The syllabus aims and objectives of this Cambridge syllabus are very, very helpful if we understand it. See, there are three main aims. Number one, let me zoom it out. Acquire knowledge of the major sources of Islam, its main belief, and its early history. So, the focus of the teaching is making the students acquire the knowledge of the major sources of Islam, its main belief, and the early history. That means we talk about the history of the life of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the early persecution he bear, and then we talk about his companions and the growth of Islam moving towards migration, and then the series of episodes that continue till um, the death of Holy Prophet ﷺ, then moving to the other topics like rightly guided caliphs, how they proceeded with their um, caliphate, their major expansion, and all that. Developing an inquiring approach to the study of Islam. This is the next aim, that the students are supposed to develop an inquiring approach, and this can be done with the help of the teachers, that they should have the ability to ask and inquire that why these things happened, how it took place, what were the reasons, causes, and the third one is identify and explore the religious, historical, and moral questions raised in the material they study. So, the purpose of teaching is to build in the characteristics of curiosity and the willingness to ask questions and think about the moral obligations that were given to the Muslims by Allah and His Messenger with relation to the historical knowledge and the religious beliefs. Now, moving to 4.2 is the assessment objective. If we understand the assessment objective, then it makes it easier for the student to answer their question, to attempt and structure them. Assessment objective 1, AO1 means assessment objective 1, which is based on the knowledge part. I told you that the 10-mark question is the essay length question, and it judges you on your knowledge. So the student is able to demonstrate his knowledge. He is able to recall, select, and present relevant facts. That means whatever is asked in the question, the student is able to present it and demonstrate it through his answers. Assessment objective 2, demonstrate understanding of their significance. Whatever you have written in A part, the questions are set in such a way that you have to describe its significance, importance, the teaching lessons that you learned, and the reasons why, if something happened, why it happened, what were the reasons. So it develops your analytical approach. Now it says the following two grid give descriptions of the expected level of response. I'm moving to another very important part of the Islamiyat paper 0493 2058, that the papers are marked on level marking, and the Cambridge has made a grid of level descriptors, and you will see how it goes about. So once the student knows that where I will be assessed, and in this weighting grid, what is my level? It gives them feedback as to are they able to write the answers correctly? The heading is level of response. Levels AO1, this grid is for AO1, the knowledge part. part A questions. Okay, I hope I'm clear about it. Now, question 1A has a maximum of 4 marks. Yes, we already discussed this when we were discussing the two paper patterns, that the A part is of 4 marks in question number 1 compulsory section, and even in question number 2 compulsory section, A part was of 4 marks. And in the rest of the question, the A part is of 10 marks. So if you see the level descriptors, they are 1, 0 to 4. It's very important to understand the descriptors with all the details. Sometimes the student is not satisfied as to why I am placed at level 3 or level 2. So once they read or go through the level descriptors, they do understand, yes, where I am making the mistake. Now, the pink box, as you say, it's saying question, mark question 1, mark question 2 to 5. Okay, question 1 is from 4 marks and 2 to 5 is from 10 marks. Okay, so 4 marks means if you have scored 4 out of 4 in question number 1, that means your answer is well structured, clear, comprehensive, you are demonstrating extensive and accurate knowledge relevant to the question. Your points are detailed, well developed, and relevant. You are likely to quote Quranic verses and ahadith to support the points made or other relevant quotations. If you are scoring 3 out of 4, or if it is the case of 10-mark question, the range is given 5 to 7. 5 is on the lowercase, that means 5 out of 10, and 7 is on the uppercase, that's 7 out of 10. The Cambridge says it's a well-structured, clear response, demonstrates sound, accurate knowledge which is relevant to the question. Points are points are elaborated upon and generally accurate. May quote Quranic verses, may, the word. Now, if you see the difference between level 3 and level 4, there is a little difference. Here it says demonstrate extensive and accurate knowledge. Here it says demonstrate sound, accurate knowledge. Okay, so they are very near to each other. The student who is all the time scoring level 3, there are chances he will move up to level 4, and the student who is scoring level 4, chances of going down. So anyway, there are chances of moving up and down depending on the knowledge that you are writing in your answer. Level 2, it says an attempt to present a structured response. Response lacks cohesion or is undeveloped. That means the student is trying to write something, but he is not able to develop the points in detail. For example, if he is writing about the services of Hazrat Khatija, if he or she has written that Hazrat Khatija was the one who supported Prophet Muhammad ﷺ at the time of revelation, then that's not enough. You have to relate. When the Prophet ﷺ came home, shivering and sweating, she covered him with a blanket and she listened to him very carefully. She empathized with him, and then she took him in the morning to Waraka bin Nawfal, who was Hazrat Khadija's cousin. That means her support was, this is called the development of the point that you are writing. So very brief and bullet points are not entertained in Cambridge. You have to give full description, full knowledge, whatever you are writing. Then moving to level 1, it is 1 to 2. Some attempt to answer the question, lacks cohesion and structure, demonstrate limited knowledge of the subject, response made are limited with little connection to the question. Now this I have noted while marking the scripts with the Cambridge, and even when I'm marking the examination paper of my students, Few students just sit in the exam with no preparation and they just try to attempt and write one thing or the other. For example, there was a question on Salah. Um, what were the conditions required for delayed prayer? So they just wrote Allah has given delayed prayer because Allah is merciful and wants um, that it should not be connected with other prayer, and nothing else was written. And but when you write the conditions, you have to describe them, that why Allah has given you delayed prayer and what are the conditions, under what circumstances you are allowed. Otherwise, Allah wants you to perform your prayer in the appointed times. And level 0, again I must quote and refer to my marking scripts. I still remember when there was one script which I was unable to read at all. The writing was totally illegible. So it is very important for the students to write neatly so that the examiner is able to read your answers. Although the examiner never give up, they try all their best to read all types of handwriting, but some handwritings are such that in spite of trying hard, it is very difficult to read them. Let's move to assessment objective 2, which is part B question. And as I told you, it is based on understanding and reasoning. Now there are two levels for this part. Level 2 means out of 4, you will be scoring 3 to 4, which is really a very good answer because the student is able to reach a certain level to show his understanding. Now let's see what is level 3 to 4. Level 2, 3 to 4 out of 4. The response demonstrate a clear understanding of the question, able to use own opinions to engage with the question, and present reasoning that demonstrate their understanding. Now, engaging with the question mean that if you are given a question, why Allah did not send the whole Quran at once? Why was in the different ways that the Cambridge said the question, why the Quran was sent in portions and not in a complete book form? Here, if we are not giving the reason and we are not engaging, if the student is writing that Allah sent the Quran in portions to prove the divinity of his book, now, to engage with the question, that means you will write, if Allah would have sent the Quran all at once, the enemies of Islam would have blamed him or would have put false allegation on Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam that he has written this book himself. So, secondly, the reason could be that Allah did not send the whole Quran at once because the coming of the Quran was very heavy. Coming of the revelation was very heavy on Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. He needed some time to restore his mental health. So this is how the examiner judges you on how you are giving your reason, presenting. Let's move to level 1. Level 1 says the student will be awarded 1 to 2 marks. Why? The responses demonstrate some understanding of the question. Next, it says there are descriptive and factual references. Now, descriptive and factual means if the student is describing the whole detail of the knowledge, he is giving the whole detail which is supposed to be written in A part. That means students lack the understanding of the question. So remember one thing, that for 4-mark question, the length of the answer is not more than 8 to 10 mark. Once you know the limit of your answer, then you will not go beyond it and you will be sticking yourself, your reasoning to that particular part. So it's very important to understand the requirement of the question as to what you are supposed to write. 0 mark for no creditable content. If the content is not related to it, then no mark will be awarded. Okay, let's see the weightage of for assessment objective. For assessment objective 1, the weightage is 68%, and for assessment objective 2, the weightage is 32%. Of course, the marks are 4 in one question. So there are 4 questions. You have 4 marks for each question. It comes to 32 because it's a 100-mark paper, so you can easily calculate. Okay, so this is what about the level descriptors. Inshallah, see you next time with more details on the subject, and I'll start very soon your paper 1. Have a good day. Allah Hafiz.